You're right, Gangrene UK. Welcome along to another game review with myself, Kane and James. It's episode 33 and we are talking Texans. Another surprise on the board for us, guys. Kane, how are you feeling after Sunday night?
Happy for the win.
Happy for the win. I like it. James, what about you?
Yeah, a bit blank there. Yeah, and I'm also pretty happy about the win. And I think it was a good game for Zach's development. You know, I don't think they wanted to risk much after he had twinged his leg in the fourth, like running out of play. So they kind of just ran it after that. But I think a good game for his development, all in all, and good to get the win.
How we feel, like, obviously Jets went into it a little bit light on players. We had Zach at 100% ish, and that was about it in quarterbacks. Other than Josh Johnson, we had Michael Carter out, and then we had who else? Corey Davis out. It wasn't the most ideal lineup we've had. Overall, let's start like we normally do. This week we'll start with offense. We will talk quarterback. A lot of controversy on this because, let's face it, the start wasn't great.
Yeah.
Kane, give us a review of how you think it went.
Zach was up and down, but at the end of the day, he's a rookie. So you're going to say that his first game back after an injury for 3 weeks, I think it was.
4.
4, yeah. So it's going to happen, isn't it? First time using the new play calling as well, in the way that it was done. Second half, I think he played quite good. Made some silly passes, but made some good ones as well. A lot of good passes were dropped. So it's just one of them games, I guess. He would have done better with Carter, and that would have helped a lot, I think. But yeah, it's just development, and we are now beating last year's win record, so can't complain at that.
So it's a better season. I like your positive spin on that.
Okay.
James, review for me, Zach Wilson. I know you've already touched on him a little bit with the fourth.
Yeah, but I'd say it's his 7th game of his NFL career. You know, we can't expect everything, and compare it to the other QBs drafted first this year. Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields. No one's blowing the doors off. So I think, and there's a great article I read, to be fair, where you wouldn't believe how many of the QBs who tear it up every Sunday in the league had a bad first year. If you read the article, I post it in the group, it's most of the good ones. So you got to bear with, and I'm happy waiting. We've been bad enough with no plan, and I'm up for this plan. Yeah.
I saw something the other day as well, that he has more yards, the same touchdowns, the same interceptions as Mac Jones over the 4 teams that he's played. And Mac Jones played the same 4 teams.
Yeah.
And everyone's raving about Mac Jones. So.
Yeah, I think Mac Jones, for me, he's the only quarterback that came from college and went into exactly the same system with a very, very similar terminology and of vocabulary on their offense.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not really surprised that he was a plug and play. They got him because he knew the system.
Yeah.
Where we took. What was that? Sorry.
He's got the big O-line. He's got the weapons. So.
Yeah, I mean, everybody in the NFL comes in, they have to do an adjustment, and I think every week. Now, Zach, for me, there was right. Is Zach where I think he should be? No. Right. Am I overly critical? No. But I can understand why people are. because we took this guy number 2 in the draft. He was meant to be a savior, but all I could think when I see it, I would rather have Zach than Trevor at the minute, because Trevor has got a better team around him, a more veteran team around him, and isn't delivering. I think we won that game partially because of how good the defense was, but at the end of the day, Zach still ran one in.
Yep.
And he moved the chains enough for us to score.
His second half adjustments.
Yeah, the second half was a lot better. His footwork is massively improved while he's been away. The panicking, I don't think it's panic. I think it's excitement.
Yeah.
When you look at him in the first 4 or 5 plays, he's hyped. And Salah's presser even said, when he gets hyped, he puts them little rockets out. And he went, he just needs to chill out and calm down.
He loves the big players, doesn't he? 'Cause that's what he did.
And I think it's not that he's looking for them. I just think he wants it to be electric, and it doesn't have to be electric. And it's what he said. Sometimes he has to play a boring game. And I think we saw him grow a lot. We just didn't see enough of what we expect. So, I mean, I think anybody who watches these videos knows I don't like quarterbacks out of college.
No.
I didn't like any of them in the draft. It's just one of them things. I don't know, because it's that thing, you don't know what you're getting.
It's a 50-50 shot with quarterbacks. I think in every quarterback in the past 30 years, it's 50-50 on whether they, succeed or not. Probably even less than that, man. So you've got to see at the end of the day.
So moving past the Zach, I mean, I'll just drop his stats. We won't really have to talk about him. He got 14 of 24, 145 yards, average of 6 yards, 1 interception. Another one, let's face it, that could have went anywhere, that interception.
Yeah, that was stupid.
It was bad luck. That play, it was all kinds of wrong. There's no justifying it. He was wrong. Ty was John. The situation was wrong. It just should never have happened.
Yeah.
However, when we did talk about it, dropped passes, right? So he was 1 slip and 2 drop passes away from 245 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. I think it would have took his rating from 58 to about 102 from 3 plays. So that's what we're talking.
Yeah.
It's a crazy one. I mean, I did queue up one just to have a look at, which this is, can you guys see this? Yeah. This is the play to Griffin. I'll play it in regular time because I haven't slowed it down. But what you're going to see essentially is Griffin make a break to the end zone and then come across the back. But as the pocket breaks down, you'll see that pretty much every option that Zach's got is in double coverage or is well covered. As he breaks out, he kind of generates the time that Griffin needs to make the end zone. So in regular, it breaks, the pocket breaks perfectly. He goes down, he sees him open, Griffin's calling for it. But I don't know what happens in that last little second, watching it from the other angle. Right? You see it all breaks perfect there. And then Griffin kind of goes down like it was going to bend round into him. And I just don't understand why it didn't come across the way it was meant to. But he makes that, he's a hero. The same as that shuttle pass forward that should never have came. If he makes that, he's a hero. But you live by the sword, you die by the sword, and he didn't make them. So he has to take the lumps. If you watch his presser, he takes all the blame. I have to get better. I made mistakes. I let people down is pretty much where he's going. He knows what he's doing wrong. Hopefully he'll learn each week. But what we've got to understand is when you take more chances throwing the way we're going to with him, more interceptions will come.
Yeah.
I mean, Pat Mahomes has got more than Zach this year. Right?
So-
I mean, it's a bad example because he's having a bad year. But I think he's on 10 or 11 interceptions, which is crazy. But he's throwing more to do more. Now, the rushing game, I thought in the early part of the game, I wasn't impressed. But
No.
it headed in well. What about you guys?
Go on, John.
Yeah, I think we had that. A few little breaks in the first drive, and then they kind of sealed it up after that. But yeah, and I thought in general the second half running, keeping it pounding looked really great. We're getting proper like into their zone, 5 yards in before the like backs even getting it. And what's his name? Austin Walter had a pretty big day, breakout. So yeah, looking good, man. To be honest.
Yeah, Water looked good. I do like how Tevin Coleman he just runs like a train.
See,
Runs.
just not a fan of Coleman's play.
No, he just
I think he's really predictable. I mean, don't get me wrong. 16 attempts, 67 yards, 4.2 and a long of 19. I'll take it. But we were very run first again with Zach.
Yeah.
The last 4 weeks, it's been thrown a first. If it doesn't work, maybe run the second, short pass on the third, dump off.
Yeah.
With Zach, it was run, pass, which is why I think he goes for them big players, because he's passing on a third down, and he's like, well, I've got to get a first down here.
What was Todd Johnson's stats?
Johnson was 6 attempts rushing for 42 yards, average of 7, and 24 long. But Johnson wasn't really featured in the receiving game.
Which is weird because he's been doing good though.
Yeah. And then Austin Walter was 9 for 38, 4.2, along with 13 and a touchdown. So when you think of his numbers, they weren't actually that big.
Yeah.
But I think of his attempts, a lot of them were in the red zone, and he broke through and got like. I'd love a little column with how many first downs he got, because I think he got 2 or 3 on that drive. So it was good to see him in. I don't feel like he's really going to challenge anybody this year for a position. If he puts numbers up for the next few weeks like that, somebody will lose out. Carter will come back in, and either Johnson or Coleman will drop some reps, I think. Elijah Moore from the backfield again played well on his 1 for 7, which we'll take that every time if he's getting 7 on 1 rush.
There was one which was a rush, but it counted as a pass, I think, because he.
Yeah. What about Zach's run? How did you feel about that?
I want him to run, but nobody else.
Not gonna lie, boys, my heart was in my mouth. I just looked and I was like, "No, don't touch him! Wrap him up in cling film." Yeah, it was a funny one. Now,
Fought for it though.
for me, there was a hero in the game again.
Yeah.
Braxton Berrios, guys. I feel like I talk about him every week. Man's got skills. I mean, I don't know if I've got the returning numbers. Right. I mean, to be fair, it says that he returned 1 kickoff for 29. He had a punt for 17. And then he had 2 catches for 47. An average of 23 yards.
It's a good average.
He had a good game again. He showed why you keep him around. Did anybody else stand out on receiving for you guys, Kane?
Not.
Or did anybody not stand out for you, sorry, as well?
Keelan Cole made a good play. I can't remember what it was, but he made a really good catch. One of the players. That's about it.
What about you, James?
Yeah. Crowder only having 1 for 5. Not great, really. Moore got a couple off Zach. We got that started, so got the connection started. So
Yeah, I think it took a while for us to get Moore kind of somewhere where he could do something. We tried a few and they were a little bit far between at his feet and stuff like that, which, yeah, they were bad throws. Or they could have been bad routes. But with Elijah Moore, I don't think they were. I think that was more on Zach. So, yeah, it needs to be improved on. But Crowder was non-existent.
Yeah.
But I don't even really think we looked at him much, to be honest.
It didn't feel like he had many drops or anything, did it?
No.
He was targeted, but
and I think. Say again, sorry, Kane.
A lot of the time, nobody was open. Like it was really good coverage for a lot of the game, to be fair.
Yeah. I mean, they kept him out of it, but the one pass that he did get, it was when he ran a route that's normally run by a tight end, which you're thinking, well, you're probably never going to be there again anyway when we get a tight end. We watched the video. Ryan Griffin is he's not the answer for me. He's a good backup. He can save some time.
Sorry, I don't know why they don't just put bloody Yabo in.
Well, you know what, right? Before we move on to defense, got to give him a shout out. Man blocked the punt.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if he'd have put both hands up, he would have full on blocked it, and we'd have knocked the ball backwards and everything like that. But you know what? He did it. So he's shown his use on special teams. We know that is important to this coaching staff. Yep. So hopefully Boyer will give him some roles there. Mm-hmm. Then we've got him on the bench. So then when he gets his blocking schemes in check, we can get him out there and maybe get him catching. Yep. Right. Now, the last few weeks we've been a bit poo-poo in the defense. Now, the defense turned up big style. I mean, we even had the Karate Kid on for us. Kane, summarise this defense from Sunday night.
Sack.
I
think they were just all over him, weren't they? The JFM actually stepped up, did a lot, got an interception, so that's like a third or second interception, and it's not even by a cornerback. But he's earning that money finally.
Yeah.
And Quinnen got through. Like it was just a really good.
Yeah, Quinnen's numbers don't never relate to how disruptive he is.
No.
I mean, 4 total, 2 assisted, 1 sack, and then 193 pain in the asses.
Yeah, he's in the backfield every play, isn't he?
Yeah, well, just before you came on, I was looking at some players with Kane. The amount he's double teamed is insane. And one of the time he's double teamed and he still gets through. You're like, man, if somebody goes 1-on-1 with him, he might kill someone. Like, they're gonna wish he was put down with gun charges. I mean, man's gonna really do damage.
Imagine adding another defensive line weapon to that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think the whole D line on rotation had a good day. Rankins 3 for 2, 3 and 2. Sorry, Phillips 3 and 3. When they were in, they were doing the business. Ashton Davis, you know what? He did well. Again, not many tackles, but to be fair, they didn't really go where he was a lot.
Yeah.
Like, there wasn't that many big balls towards him sitting back in safety. And then he was playing with Riley, who was 5 and 2, so he was the one going around a bit more. So it was quite nice to see him in that position. Blair on the D line had himself a game.
He did quite good too. I said this when we was watching it. He had a good game. He did.
I mean, cornerbacks, what are we saying? Because, I mean, there is some stupid penalties coming out against them. Proper awkward, wrong time of the game kind of penalties as well.
Yeah.
Was it Carter 2 who got mossed by Cook? Was it?
Yeah, I think so. But I mean, he was 6-2. The others, Guidry was 2-0. Pinnock 1-0. Dunn 1-1. So I mean, they were putting in tackles, but I don't know. I feel the only time they were put to the test, Cooks came out better.
I feel bad for Pinnock when they scored that touchdown on him because of the slip.
Yeah, and
that was
the other long play as well, where I think it was me and you talking, Kane, on the game thread, where he flat foots because he was going to go outside, where the guys inside of you don't flat foot to your outside because you've got the extra 2 yards. You stay on your toes so you can break inside if he goes to the inside route.
Yeah.
And he flat footed himself and he just went, I'm off. So then he had 3 yards on him and it was like, well, you're never going to catch him. I mean, he's older than you, but he's still faster. But I can't really grumble at them giving up yards, which, if we're honest, they did give up yards.
Yep.
I mean, I think it's 202 yards total they give up, which it's not loads compared to 400s that we have been giving up.
Yeah.
But this is against the Texans team, which they're not known for that.
Yeah, but they did pretty woeful performance against the Miami team, and I think that's similar offensive lines. It was pretty good turnaround, I thought, in general. Yeah.
Now, I thought we struggled a little bit on third down. Which is worrying.
We've got no run stop. I don't know why, because we've got like top D linemen and we just can't stop the run ever.
But do you not think that's a lot down to the fact that we're sitting back on linebackers?
So less
to less the stress on the cornerbacks.
Yeah.
But
games.
Our D line are getting double teamed.
Yeah.
So they can make a big hole, but we're not getting I'm doing the hand signals here. So they're making the gap. The running back's hitting it, but then the linebacker's 3 yards further back than where he would be. So it becomes a 5-yard play instead of a 1-2 yard play.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I just think we need that run stuff.
But I mean, they converted 6 third downs on us and 1 4th down. Like, we take them players off them, you control the game.
Yep. Because
you've got the ball then. I mean, the turnover was good on our part. The one where Franklin might, any other player, it's like that. JFM lateral it off to somebody who can run because you is a dump truck, mate.
30 yards.
Yeah, he looked like a lorry doing it though. It looked laboured. I'm surprised not to see him on oxygen when he got to the line. But yeah, all in all, that game went pretty much how I thought it was going. I can't remember the predictions we did last week.
I said we was going to lose it, but it was going to be competitive.
Yeah. I think you went 3 points, didn't you, James?
I'm not positive. I wanted to say we might have won, but
yeah, I said I was okay with any result as long as we didn't lose it.
Yeah.
At one point, I thought we were going to lose it. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
There was a couple of players I was like, oh no.
Field goal, 4 minutes left, whatever.
Yeah, we do have to mention it. Amendola.
Yeah. I don't know why they didn't start the guy that they signed from the tryouts. Like rotate at least.
I don't think the issue's with that. Because did they miss a field goal as well?
Yeah, they missed one off that possession. Arms. Yeah.
So it's a thing around the league at the minute kickers are missing. I mean, even Tucker's missed a couple this year.
Crosby for Packers is pretty bad this year as well.
Yeah. So, has something happened? Is it different? Is it new turf? Is it just the fact that the weather's been a bit crap? They are obviously kickers are weird people anyway. They have their superstitions. You've also got to think. This last week, he's changed holder again from Morstead to Mann.
Oh yeah.
Let's see.
Mann is half the size of Morstead. So is he holding the ball different? Is he placing it different? There's loads of different things that have changed that can get inside of his head.
Yeah.
I mean,
Man didn't have a really good game either.
I mean, it's always harder to say on a punter.
Yeah, he had one really good punt where we almost batted it back out the end zone.
I mean, to be honest though, his average was 39 yards. His long was 44, and he did a touchback.
Yeah.
Which obviously, in certain situations, touchbacks are bad. But why did we touch that ball? Because it wasn't going in.
Yeah.
So he pushes it back onto his own foot and kicks it in the end zone, and they get it to the 20. That goes on to Mann's negative because it's a touchback, where actually it wasn't a touchback. It would have stayed on the 1 and he would have been class. But the thing is, we only had him out 4 times, which is amazing for us. To only punt 4 times.
That's it.
That's nice.
But yeah, Amendola, you stick with him. You don't drop him.
I don't think they will. But
what, you don't think they'll stick, or you think they'll drop?
I think they'll drop him just because of pressure, maybe.
Where are you sitting on it, James?
Depends on how much faith they have in the guy that they added. Well,
Yes.
I just don't know how you can have faith in kickers at the minute. But yeah, what we saying, James? Where are you on it?
Probably same thought. If they've seen anything from the other guys, might be worth a shot. I do like Amendola, though. He just seems to be missing the 40s, the 40 to 50, which is kind of what we need to be hitting.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing to say is he is an undrafted free agent and he's a rookie.
Yeah.
He's young.
Definitely.
I think he only kicked in college after playing soccer in high school. He's not got like a full on, 5 years high school football, then 3 years of college. I don't think he's got that behind him. So it is, I mean, I'm not, obviously, at the end of the day, he's kicking. It's not like he's got to remember a whole playbook. But I mean, his Oklahoma stats weren't enough to get him drafted.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really know much about him at Oklahoma, but I might have a look into it for next time, so we've got some stats. Because I wasn't expecting to actually go into it, other than I thought you were both going to go drop him and we'd move on. So yeah, I mean, overall, I'm quite happy with the game. We showed progress.
A win? Like, how can you not be happy?
Yeah, there is going to, I've said it a few times, yards don't win games, points win games. If you get more points on 100 yards, but you 400 yards pass, but they don't score any points, you know what? Don't really care. You won.
Yep.
Take the ugly wins. It wasn't the best win we've ever had. It won't be the best win, but it won't be the worst win we have with Zach. But all in all, wasn't terrible. Enjoyed it. How are you feeling going into this week?
I forgot who we were playing, to be honest.
Eagles.
Playing the Eagles.
Eagles at MetLife on Sunday, 6:00 UK time.
Well, they just dropped one to the Giants as well. Played quite badly in that. So
At MetLife.
yeah, at MetLife. So probably going to be looking for some revenge on us. Well, yeah, bit of a get back game. So realistically, just looking for Zach to have a better game, be more prepared. But Eagles have got a lot of weapons, so it could be could be another loss for the boys. I think.
I think we might lose, but if Zach plays better, then that's cool.
Right, so this is one of those games that's left on our roster that genuinely could go either way. However, I think both teams are at points where you're like, you don't know enough about your quarterback. I mean, they're running what, second-year quarterback. The fans seem to love him now. The team seem to be getting behind him. He's still not massively over-delivering.
He's good running, but I'm not too sure about the throwing, but he can run all over you, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, they have got a better away record than home. They're 4-3 on the road.
See.
So they do travel well, but they got beat last week at MetLife. So we could see something coming off. But I mean, Jalen Hurts for the season isn't tearing it up.
No.
Right? So last weekend he was 14 for 31, 129 yards, average of 4.2 and 3 interceptions. And we're worried about Zach. So yeah, I don't know. I want to see better footwork from Zach. I just want to see that getting better and better. I want to see Corey Davis back. And I just kind of want to see the defense come back for a second game.
Yeah.
Because they haven't done 2 on a bounce yet. We have, I mean, I think we were even talking about in one of the press conferences saying you have a great defensive game and then have 3 bad ones. And that's the rule of thumb at the minute. So yeah, I'm thinking it's pretty much the same as what we did against Texans. I'm okay with the result either way as long as we don't lose it. I would like to see Todd Johnson used the same way as we use Carter this week, because I think he will tear it up a little bit. I want to see JFM breaking that edge to stop Hurts on his feet, because he has tried to run for 122 attempts this year. He's got 8 touchdowns that way. And he's on like nearly 700 yards.
He scores a lot of fantasy points.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't last week, but yeah, I know exactly what you mean. But then I think we put Carter 2 with Smith. Bit of coverage maybe from a safety because Smith is fast. Yeah, I think it's not an unwinnable game. We have got unwinnable games in our future. This is one of them.
Yeah.
So, what were you going to say there, James?
No, definitely get Elijah Moore going early, and he needs to make those dump-off passes because he sailed a couple of them early. He needs to make them this week.
Well, hopefully that's what we've been doing in practice. We're back on field practice tomorrow. What day is it today?
Tuesday.
Yeah, back on field practice tomorrow. So hopefully we'll get him in time on that. But thanks for joining us, guys. As always, like, share, subscribe, do all those clicky things. Keep James happy, and we will speak to you soon. Bye.